lined up. Such a great thing. Let me know for everybody that's here. And if you see me peeking around the corner, that's where my notes are. As I said, I do take time to be sure that if I have a topic here, that I've got some notes here, so not everything is memorized. Noted. I figured that was the case. So definitely. Okay. So we will definitely connect into that. So I appreciate it. All right. So let me see comments here. All right. Everything good. And let's just check here. All right. So as I said, if you're viewing, just give me a comment, give me a reply, and let me also share this to some people. Let's see here. And for those of you that are watching, um, feel free to let people know that yes, I am live, and this is a great opportunity to come in, ask some questions, find out about the topic as well, because I'll be sharing this here. Also, you can also message me if you have some questions and you want to get out that you may not want to ask here, you can message me and I can give you some information about that. So if you're interested in that and saying, hey, I feel more comfortable on just asking you directly or, on a one-on-one situation, send me a private message. And so that we can connect here. Because really the goal is to be sure that you are taking this in, that you are able to utilize the information that I have, that you can make practical steps. Now, what I'm going to be talking about today, this is going to be some information that you can apply. What I will just say, this is always an asterisk, is that you want to be able to have somebody to work with you so that you're applying this effectively. You need somebody objectively. Hey, Mr. Taff, good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you so much for stopping in. And our topic today is 5 life-changing decisions to make in the next 90 days. That's right, 5 life-changing decisions to make in the next 90 days. All right, so I see them here. Got the notes here. All right, and let's just check in. Let's just check in with people. All right, so that's good. And we've got some people watching. For those here, we've got some goals. So one of the things that you can do for me is, as you're seeing this live, if you can share this out, that would be great. I would definitely appreciate it. I'm going to comment here, and I'm sharing this out as well. So let me go ahead and do that. Bear with me for a second. Let's close that. And don't mind me, I'm a person that has multiple monitors. So if you see me looking over here, that's because that, as I said, notes and all those things there. So I want to be sure that the information I'm giving to you is complete and it's thorough, all those things there. All right. And so let's go here. Let's put this, boom, boom, boom. Let's put that there. All right. Wonderful. Okay. I've got that comment. I've got that in there. So now that I've shared this, and of course I can share this to some more people, and feel free to share this to some more people. Let's get into this. So usually, as I said, I start at 5 o'clock. Had a little bit of a hiccup, but as you say, we flow. That's one of the things that you will learn, is that as you're moving along, as you have your goals, you've got to expect obstacles. Expect that not everything is going to be perfect. So that's going to be key as you're doing it. Because if you come in thinking that everything is going to be smooth, you're going to be highly disappointed in that. So, had the flow. But here we are. 5 life-changing decisions to make in 90 days. All right. So buckle up, and here we go. So let's start off with a question. Now think about this. Where could your life be 90 days from now if you made a few better decisions starting tonight? Now, we're not talking about next month or next year. We're not talking about resolutions. We're talking within the next 90 days, 90. So if yes, thank you. And so if you think about it, we're in the month of we're in this month. We're in the month of June. Half of the year is gone, and so now we want to move forward and see what are the things that we can do that can help move us forward. Now, most people will sometimes overestimate what they can do in a day and they underestimate what they can do in 90 days. I mean, we're talking, for instance, a new habit, a new business, a new skill, healthier body, all those things. All right. Um, and let me just make sure notes. All right. Let me make sure that the comments are here. All right. So everything is good. I'm just checking to make sure, because when I give this information to you, the goal is that you someone said in the comments, stop telling my business. See, that is hilarious. That is funny. That is funny. So let's make sure that we're moving and flowing in that. All right. All right. Good. Okay. We're engaged. That's the thing. That's key. Okay. So as I said, most people, what they do is they overestimate what they can do in a day and they underestimate what they can do in 90 days. And those things will include such as more income, it could be a new skill, healthier body, a stronger mindset. See, a lot of those things can happen in 90 days. All right. Now, what my goal is to share 5 decisions that can completely change your life over these next 3 months. All right. We know that it's summertime. So this is not the time to slow down. This is the time to put your foot on the gas. That's right. That's right. True, Mr. T. Excellent. All right. So what I want you to think about is this, and feel free to put this in the comments. If you can improve one area, just one, in the next 90 days, what would it be? And some examples could be health, maybe finances, maybe it's relationships. It could be either career, it could be your mindset, it could be business. So put that in the comments. If you can improve just one area, if you can improve in your life in the next 90 days, what would it be? All right. So we got relationships, we got health, we've got mindset, there's business, there's finance. Those are some options, and those are some things that. And so in the comments, someone says, my relationship with God. That's right, Mr. Hyman. Excellent, excellent. All right. And so, and this is just example. This is just to get the wheels turning, to get the wheels spinning and thinking. As I said, there's a lot that can happen over the next 90 days. So I wanted to be sure that you're understanding, you're aware. Okay. All right. So let me just pull this up, make sure we're on the same page. All right. All right. Okay. And we're good to go. Okay. So now that we're on the same page, let's start with the first decision. Okay. So most people, what happened is when it comes to it, many people, and I won't say most, there was like most people, what do you know about most people? A lot of times when it comes to making decisions, people, they don't have a goal problem. And I find that out with my clients when they come to me, whether they're doing a one-on-one, whether it's a private client or whether it's someone that's joined my mastermind, it's not really that they have a goal problem. That's the issue. They're trying to reach this, they're attempting to do that. The challenge is that they have a clarity problem. There's a big difference. So it's not a goal problem, it's a clarity problem. So that's the first decision. You have to decide what you actually want. That's decision number 1. Okay? Decide what it is you actually want. Get clarity. So why do you want clarity? So let's think about this. When it comes to your goals, if they're vague, then that's going to be the results you produce. Vague goals produce vague results. Simple as that. If you're not sure where you're going, then you're going to end up nowhere and not the place you need to be. So it's important that you gain clarity. You have to decide, yes, exactly. Mr. T, career, the things you want to improve, career, relationship with God, mindset, physical and health gains. Excellent. Excellent. You have to decide what it is you actually want. So what does clarity do? Well, clarity, what that does is it creates direction. So for instance, if you have a if you've got a GPS and your GPS and you get into the car, your GPS is going to, it's the really, when you look at your GPS, it asks you a question. Where do you want to go? Now, you've got to type it in or you've got to speak it. And what you say to your GPS is that you can't say, take me to some place near the airport. Doesn't have that. You can't type that in. The GPS is going to ask for clarity. It's going to say, I need a destination. So you cannot be vague with the GPS. It's not going to judge you. It's just not going to give you the directions because there's no clear point as to where it's taking you. So clarity creates direction. And now, once you have that direction, you type the exact thing in, your address or your location where you're going. What does that create? Clarity, that creates that direction. And then what? Direction creates action. It can go. Now you hit it and it's ready to take you. It's ready to do what it's programmed to do. So clarity creates direction. Direction creates action. And then what happens is, as you're taking action, what does the action do? You're getting in the car, you're going down this street, you're getting on this particular road for maybe 3.1 miles, you're taking a left, you're taking a right, and keeping direction and going and keeping it up. Exactly, Mr. T, and keeping direction. And so what happens is that action that you're taking, that's going to create results. You're going to get somewhere. You're going to get to where you want to go. So that's going to create results there. All right. And that's the challenge, is that many people, they don't know what they want. Specifically, you ask them, few people know exactly what they want. You ask them, say, okay, what is it that you want? And that will stump people. I remember that stumped me years ago. I had a tendency to really focus on other people. If I got into a conversation with somebody, phone or in person, anything along those lines, I had, and I still do, I have a skill of being able to focus it on them. What's going on in your life? How are you doing? What's your next step? What's your, where are you taking it? What are you doing? What have you been up to? All that focuses on them. A few people, have really been able to flip the script. And Mr. T says, my goal is to achieve it by September, October. And so the one person, I would say the one person that really stuck it to me was and is my wife. She asked me directly before we got married. She's like, what is your purpose? What is your purpose? And I was stuck. No one has ever stuck it to me like that. And that was this, and I believe, we were engaged at that time. So that's a whole nother story. That might be on a whole separate bracket, because there's something that she and I will do regarding marriage. That's out on the radar. That's going to happen. Thank you for the heartbeat. Thank you so much for the heartbeat. Hey, welcome in Body, Mind, Healing Life. Thank you so much. And so, thank you. I appreciate it. Feel free to tap the screen, share it out, all that good stuff. Thank you all so much. And so, when it comes to it, it basically comes out of this. Not many people, they don't know exactly what they want. So it's that if you don't know what you want, you can't hit that target. A few people, you can't hit a target you can't see. It's very simple like that. Some people say they want to get healthy or they want more money. That isn't specific. What we're talking about here with decision number one, decide what you actually want. Our focus is specificity. What is it exactly that you want? You have to define success clearly and put numbers on your goals. You've got to put numbers on your goals. You got to put dates on your goals. Hey, Rebuilt by Her. Thank you so much. Thank you for the heart meet. Thank you, Body, Mind, Healing Life. I'm just calling you Miss Mind. Thank you. I appreciate it, Dropping Gems. Good to see you. And so when it comes to your goals, the first one, you've got to decide what you actually want. You've got to be specific. Thank you so much for the TikToks. Thank you. Please share this out. Welcome everyone that's here. Thank you so much. Please share this out. Let people come in. All that. And so you've got to put numbers on your goals. All right. If it's not measured, it's not met. You've got to write these goals down. All right. When you write them down, you're training your brain to now begin to filter everything that's not aligned with it out and move forward in it. Shout out to Miss Bonnie Monheim. Thank you for joining the fan club. And I appreciate it. Thank you. And so now, as you're moving in, you've got to understand your goals need numbers. And it's not about you chasing everyone's definition of success. You've got to stop that here. Stop chasing everyone else's definition of success and define yours. So it's not about it's not about you following in anyone else's lane. It's about you being in yours. Because remember, if you stay in your lane, the only traffic in there is you. That's right. So the goals need numbers. Okay. All right. Feel free to pop some questions in. If this is landing for you, put a yes in the comment. Put a yes in the chat. All right. Let's see what we got. Okay, just checking on my notes. All right, we're doing good. So that's number one. Because what we want to do is you don't want to be yes. I see the yeses. Yes, keep your numbers in order. Yes, I see the yeses. Excellent. Thank you all thank you for the taps, the hearts. Thank you for sharing this out and for the stickers. Thank you for the comments, for connecting here. Now, you don't want to be one of those people that you're trying to get somewhere without knowing where that somewhere is. All right. So the question for this one, what's one goal you're actively pursuing? And ask yourself, is it specific or is it vague? All right. Excellent. Thank you for the stickers. Thank you so much. All right. So that's decision number one of the life-changing decision. Decide what you actually want. And now let's move on to decision number two. Decision number two, you've got to decide, and I really like this one here because it really nails it. Decision number two, everyone ready? Let me take a sip of water because this might get too deep here. Good. Here we go. Decision number two, you've got to decide what you're no longer willing to tolerate. That's right. Decision number two, decide what you're no longer willing to tolerate. Why? What's this? Because growth often starts with what you're willing to stop accepting. See, there are many people that are living below average. What I mean, that you're living less than the capabilities and potential that's within you. And you're tolerating that life. You're tolerating what you see. Because this is the thing. When you think about it, a lot of people will look around at their circumstance, will look around at their environment, and they will live to that level. This is important. Know this, that what you see does not equate to your vision. There are many times that sight becomes the enemy of vision. You got to become aware of that. If you have a picture in your mind, you've got to understand that it's not about what you see, it's about what you envision. All right, that's one of the key things. Right, Mr. T. Don't tolerate anything that's not helpful for you. So this is what happens when you have levels of tolerations. What does toleration do? Tolerations, they steal energy from you. All right. Many people are looking at time, and what happens is it steals that energy, that potential that you have, that when you're at your most, if you tolerate someone coming in and taking your time, taking your energy, taking your resources there, then that's going to put you in a bad state. Yes, Mr. Tapp. Yes. That's going to put you in a bad state. See, whatever habits you have, they become normal. So that's why it's important for you to begin to discern what are those habits and put labels on them, because bad habits can become normal. See, clutter becomes normal. Excuses become normal. All those things become normal. Procrastination, all of that becomes normal. Even toxic relationships, all of those things become normal. You begin to tolerate these things. You tolerate the clutter that's around you. You tolerate being able to live in an empty space. You tolerate not having a clean home or a clean bathroom, or you tolerate a messy car, things along those lines. See, I heard this, that clutter is really a culmination of decisions that you decide that you have not made. That's what clutter is. It's decisions. It's a series of decisions that you have not made. Yep, right here. Only have something, someone that helps you with your goals and helps you with your mental state. There you go. There you go, Mr. Taft. There you go. And so, and let me just and check in. Yes, and as I'm doing this, please comment on here, making sure that I got all my notes and I'm not missing anything. All right. And so know this, that yes, when it comes to the decision, you've got to be sure what is it that you're no longer willing to tolerate. Excuses. If you tolerate excuses from yourself, that's an issue. That's a challenge because that becomes part of yourself. That becomes part of who you are. All right. And let's talk about this, toxic relationships. What do I mean by toxic? Things that are bad for your state, your spiritual, your mental, your physical, your emotional, all those states in. Because there are some people that live in that, and and I sometimes joke and say, people like, if I've traveled, like, what state are you in? Some people are in a state of confusion. You've got to decide, what is it that you're going to tolerate? Are you going to tolerate financial chaos, chronic lateness, inconsistency? All right. There are some people that live check by check not because they don't have enough money, it's because that they don't manage their resources. You've got to manage properly what you have. You've got to say, if you tolerate living paycheck by paycheck, that's the norm. If you tolerate getting frustrated or stressful on Sunday nights and not able to sleep because you fear Mondays, that becomes the norm. It's straightforward like that. So you got to understand this. When it comes to these things, successful people like yourself, you raise their standards. Exactly. You've got to raise your standards. And what happens is when you raise your standards influence your behavior. They now say that this is the level, and I'm going to decide what comes into the space and what does not. All right. So if standards, so as you raise your standards influence your behavior, and your behavior now influences your results. So it's that connective tissue that's in there. So what you have to do is when you decide what you're no longer accepting, you raise your standards. Standards influence your behavior, and behavior influences your results. Okay? Just pausing for a moment. And as you begin to see results, you know what happens? As you see the results that you're expecting, those results build confidence. They influence your confidence. They have an impact. So that's what it is. Yes, standards influence behavior, and behavior which influences your results. That is so true. So that's where growth happens. Growth sometimes starts with you making one firm decision. And it might be so much as it might be you picking a day or a period in your day where you're saying, you know what, I watch a lot of TV. What I'm going to do is make sure between 12 p.m. and 6 p.m., maybe you work at home, I'm going to not watch TV. I'm going to take the remote and put it somewhere where I can't get to it. And I can only, or have someone take it out of the house or what have you. Some firm decision that you're gonna have to do, because really that'll be sometimes what it takes. That you've got to make one firm decision and stand on that. Yes, what people are saying. Learn, yes, what people are saying. Glad you're learning something new. So it's all about that, your standards. And I'll repeat that just in case. So when it comes to you normalizing things, you've got to raise your standards. First, see yourself as successful. Then, as you see yourself as successful, you raise your standards. Your standards influence your behavior. Then your behavior, that influences your results, and your results influence confidence. So that's how you want to do it. So that's one of the things what you want to think of. And yes, and your confidence help you keep your stands. Yes, they do, Mr. T. Excellent, excellent. So some things you want to think about here is one. What's one thing you're tired of tolerating? That's right. What's one thing you're tired of, and what's something you know needs to change? So those are two big questions. Now you can definitely put that in the comments. Also, you can take this as a takeaway. What's something that you're tired of tolerating? Mr. T, negative energy. Exactly. And you can control that. You can control what's in your environment. That's one of the things, and I talked about this yesterday. When it comes to your environment, do not play the victim. Always be the victor. You have a choice when it comes to your environment, whether you're with people. You can be a thermometer or a thermostat. When you come into a room, come into an environment, if you're a thermometer, what you're doing is you're accepting the temperature in that room. Whether it's negative, whether it's positive, you're accepting that temperature. This decision here, where you decide to no longer accept certain things, this is you being a thermostat. A thermostat controls the climate in that room, in that space. You can make it either hotter, colder. In this context, you can either accept the negative energy, or you can say, I'm bringing my energy in. I'm changing that to positive energy. Whether it's what I do, whether I say, or whether I bring my environment with me and I declare that this my environment is going to impact and shift the room. That's a decision. All right. So this is this is good. If this is landing, put a two into the chat. So that's decision number two, that you decide what you're no longer willing to tolerate. If this is landing, put a two into the chat. Put a two into the chat. All right. Change your negative, change your positive. And let me check here. Everyone good? Let me check the comments here. Let's check here. All right. All right, we're doing good. We're doing good. We're doing good. All right, I see some twos in there. Excellent. All right. I see a bunch of twos. There we go. There we go. Excellent. Excellent. All right. So excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Town. Thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Anybody coming in, as I said, feel free to share it, tap it up, all the good things. Tap it up. Thank you for the stickers. Thank you for the shares. Thank you for the taps. Thank you for all those things. Thank you for the gifts and the heart meets and all that. And thank you for questions and comments and engagement. That's what's key. That is what is key. The fact that you are engaging, that's really what makes this live interactive. All right. As I said, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments. I will definitely work hard on getting to them and responding to them. Now, if you're thinking that you may want to have you want to have a one-on-one, just message me and we'll go from there. Message me, because I know sometimes you may say, this is something, but I do have a question about the decision. So just message me on that. All right. Number three. Let's move on to number three. Got a good pace here. And got to take my sip of water. Now, number three. Number two, we'll go with each one. So decision number one, decide what you actually want. Gotcha. All right. That's good. Okay. Stop. Definitely. All right. So, yep. I'll definitely reach out. That's good. Okay. If I don't, just send me a private message. There we go. So decision number one, decide what you actually want. Decision number two, decide that what you're no longer willing to tolerate. Excellent. And let me do that. Hold on. Here we go. Okay. Got it. Now, number three, moving right along. So what we're going to do is this. Number three is this. Decide who you'll learn from. Strong thing, because remember, a lot of people will say you've got to, you can learn from everyone, but you've got to decide who you'll learn from. Because what you can do is you can really, when it comes to this decision, you can shorten your learning curve by learning from people who've already done what you're trying to do. There you go. That's right. Decide who you will learn from. If someone has already been there, or someone's there to speak objectively, and I tell you, I've spent years in the corporate world as a trainer. Hold on for a minute. Let me just take this out. Okay. I spent years as a corporate trainer, and I saw how, people that were making responses, or people that were good trainers that had an impact, whose names I remembered, all those things. And so I would ask them questions. I would follow what they do. I would make notes about, making either written or mental notes about how they conducted their class, what were some of the things that they did, how they engaged people, so that what they were teaching was retaining. So it's about that. So understand this: when it comes to this decision, decide who you learn from. Know this: that success leaves clues. It's a key point right there. Okay, success leaves clues. So as I was saying, that I spent years coaching, consulting thing, and it wasn't that once I said I'm a coach, I'm a consultant, that's where my learning stopped. No, I always, regardless of if I was training someone, if I was the one that was on the stage or in front of people and they were listening and learning from me, I would always tell people that I am always, and I'm always in a mindset of, not only if I'm training, coaching, or what have you, I'm always learning. I have an open mindset, so I can pick up from clues what someone says or what someone doesn't say. So, yep, there you go. There you go. That's so good. That's so good, Mr. T. That's so good. And so understand this, as I said, success leaves clues. And so when it comes to how you learn, all these things matter. How, mentorship matters, coaching matters, books matter. A lot of these things, they do come in there. So, and really what it comes to this is that people will have books and you have courses. All of those things matter. They all will have an impact on how you move, how you grow, and how you develop over these next 90 days. That's one of the key things. And so it's important that you do that. And I do want to almost take a bit of a stop here, because what's popping in my head is something that I put out a couple of days ago. So FYI, if you're not following me, be sure you follow me. I post at least 2 to 3 times a day, like a video in the morning and usually one in the evening, and like a card in the afternoon. So I'll something I'll post in the afternoon. So one of the videos I stated, be sure you activate what you accumulate. Right? Be sure you activate what you accumulate. There are people that will buy tons of books, tons of courses, or they'll sign up for they'll download this and sign up for that. They'll connect with this. They'll have a copy of this free webinar, this free thing. They'll have all these things. They'll accumulate all of that stuff. And so their pile is this high. But when you go to them and you ask you ask them, what have they really put into action? Very small, very little. So you've got to be sure to activate what you accumulate. Okay, so that's one of the key things. So now, as you decide where you learn from, you have to know this too: is that as you're learning, you want to take on a spirit of humility. That's right, because really, when it comes to your growth, pride is one of the number one things that can slow that down. Yes, there are people that will say, I already know this. I've already taken classes in this. Well, you've never taken this class or this course or heard this saying at this age, at this point. Because no days repeat themselves. There are no repetitions, no do-overs on the calendar. So you've got to understand that pride slows your growth. So then humility is what's going to speed it. That's going to quicken your growth. So as you make the decision who you'll learn from, that's right. You've got to take on that spirit of humility. You make the decision. You say, all right, I'm going to not only just ask questions, you got to make the determination that I'm going to ask, as you raise your standards, you're going to ask better questions. You're going to find people to get results. That's why I've told people, I'm like, listen, you can come to me with questions. And I do this as well at my church. You can come to me with questions. You can come to me with all these things. Either I'll have the answer, or I will go to someone and get the answer for you, because that's what's really about. It's not about being that complete resource. It's about being that, having that value and also being that conduit, that person that connects you to the next response. Does that make sense? All right. So you've got to find people that are getting results. You've got to find the people that are already there. And what do? You become studious. You study their habits, their mindset, their systems, learn from their, and here's one of the key things, learn from their errors, from their faults and everything. You want to learn from my faults? Please follow my follow my profile. So for me, and this is my personal thing, is that prior that I play drums for the marathon, and for those of you who have heard that before, I play drums for the marathon. In the last years, in the previous years I've done so, I've always done like prep for a week before time. And so anytime the marathon day came, I was nervous because this is 4 hours of nonstop drumming. This year, I put all these goals up and I tracked my time within 30 days to go, 30 days, 29, 28, put all that in the profile. Now, when the marathon day came, I was ready. I didn't have that much fear. It was lower. It was more faith than fear. So what I learned from that, though, that time, is that I had put too many goals within those 30 days. So now what I'm doing now is that I took a couple weeks off because that was intense. And yeah, there are going to be times when you push yourself, when you may need to take time off. Please give yourself permission to rest. Do not burn a candle at both ends. This is not about burnout. It's about you calculating and knowing how to prioritize your energy and efforts. And so what I'm doing now, if you want to see someone learning from mistakes, is that I'm taking all those goals and I'm breaking them up into weeks. And I'm making small increases. And so for the past 4 weeks, I have been posting at night, usually it's maybe like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, all of my increases, all of my goals. So right now you'll see today, and it'll be day 9 of 7K veg and 70 push-ups. So that's right. I started off with 30 push-ups and I started off with, I think, 3,000 steps. And so now I'm at 7,000. Now I'm at 7,000 steps a day. I've increased to eating vegetables every day, which I did not do. Yeah, I know. Please, I know. Go ahead. People want to be like, what? You went for days without eating vegetables? Yeah. And right now I'm doing that. I've got drum rudiments. I practice chords for piano. I'm also editing my next book. So I've got all these things. And now, do I hit all of my goals? No, I don't. And so if you go to my post, you'll see I take a picture of my pedometer, a picture of my vegetables, and then I have a section what I've done. Then there's a section called Missed Goals and the Adjustments. Yesterday, I missed having vegetables. And so what did I do today? I haven't put in there. What did I do today? I had my vegetables at 1 p.m. That's the earliest I've eaten vegetables. I had a plate of vegetables. I was like, I'm getting this out the way now. So that's how I learn from my mistakes. So if you want to learn, you want to say, okay, got Coach Trev, he's an accountability coach. He doesn't make mistakes. He's got all these things. Go to my profile, check it out. It's not even a blog, but it's like you go through, you'll see there'll be a picture of a pedometer and vegetables, all of that, and it'll show the days, and you'll see all the adjustments that I'm making. Yeah. Oh, see, shout out, Mr. Tap. Yeah, it's salad for lunch. There you go. There's the vegetables. That's how you do it. Anybody else out there? And mind you, let me see how many steps I'm at right now. I'm at 2,703 steps. So that means once I finish here, guess who's getting their walk on? This one right here. Thank you for the stickers, Body My Lunch. So when it comes to this decision here, where you decide who you'll learn from, you've got to study habits of people that you're going to learn from. Study their habits, their mindset, their systems. Learn from their mistakes. Why? Because growth accelerates when you're coachable. That's right. Growth accelerates when you're coachable. Shout out Miss Diamond. Okay, she takes a green powder every day. There we go. Now, I also drink a fruit juice every day. I didn't have one in the house, so I'll have to see if there's one around. Maybe I've got to root around in the fridge and see if I can find something. But I had my vegetable early, so I'm happy about that. But I still got to do my chapter. So you've got to study people's habits and their mistakes so that you can apply them to yourself and see what's going to keep you move you forward. As I said, growth really helps you, pushes you forward when you become coachable. So that's it. Now, what happens is that there are some people who want expert results while taking advice from people who've never done a thing. So when you're thinking about who you're going to learn from, you got to think about who has influenced your growth the most. And you could think about what book has changed your life. And mind you, when you decide to learn from somebody, it doesn't have to be someone that's been a day one. It doesn't have to be family, friends. It could be somebody that you just you just met, but they have such an impact on you. And it might be somebody that you know virtually. So don't limit your access to people that can impact your growth. All right. So that's number 3. Decide who you'll learn from. All right. Thank you so much for the rose. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. Goals. Y'all got me hitting goals. Okay. Okay. We are good. Let me check to see if there, and thank you all for engaging. Thank you for sharing. We got 2 more decisions. 2 more decisions. Almost there. All right. Here we go. Now, and if this landed for you, decide who you learn from, put a 3 into the chat. Put a 3 into the chat. Thank you. Thank you for thank you for the thing heart. Thank you for the gifts. I appreciate it. I am grateful. I am grateful. Thank you. I see the 3s. I see those typing out the 3s. I see the number 3. I see that. I like the number 3 as well. All right. So let's move on to decision number 4. So, thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing that, Mr. T. Appreciate it. All right. And as a recap, I see all the 3s. I see the heart. Thank you. So, recap. Decision number 1, decide what you actually want. Okay. Get clear with what you want. Decision number 2, decide what you are no longer tolerating. All right. That's the key thing. Decide what you're no longer tolerating. Number 3, which we just did, decide who you'll learn from. Okay. Now, the next one, number 4, decide what habits you'll build. Right. So that's the 4th one. You're going to decide what's going to be your daily routines. That's going to be part of your system there, because you've got to understand this. Excuse me. That your future is hidden inside your daily habits, and it's predictable. Now think about this. Futures and your future is predictable. Success and failure, all those things are predictable. So think about it. If I decide, let's say, today's June, let's say, beginning of the month, if I decide, every day I'm going to have a hamburger for breakfast and 1 for dinner. All right. Hamburger for breakfast, whole meal, hamburger and fries, burger and fries, breakfast, and 1 for dinner. If I do that every day for 30 days, okay, we can predict what's going to happen at the end of those 30 days. I'm going to have some health issues, because now I'm eating these double cheeseburgers, 2 of them with fries every day, every single day. You can predict what's going to happen. It's going to impact my health in a negative manner, because this is all I'm eating, or not all I'm eating, but this is what I'm eating. So got to be mindful of that. And when it comes to your habits, they are predictable. Now, if I decide to eat clean for 30 days and work out for 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, you can predict what's going to happen by the end of 30 days, by the end of 90 days. I'm going to be healthier. I'm going to be stronger. I'm going to have additional stamina, all those things. So yes, when it comes to your goals, it's about your habits. So your habits shape your identity. Habits will shape your results. As I stated here, it's about what your habits are going to be. So you have to decide, and this is number 4, decide what habits you're going to build, what habits you're going to incorporate that. So know this, and I talked about this yesterday as well, is that when habits, they shape your identity, your show, it's the small action that matter. So if someone's constantly late, if you constantly procrastinate and you push things off, then yes, then you're going to become a person, and you're a person known as you'll be unreliable. You'll be always stressful. You'll be frustrated. You'll be challenged because you're waiting for the last minute for these things to happen. And you've normalized procrastination. You've accepted. You've tolerated these things. So that's the thing. So so you've got to choose and understand what are the small actions that's going to build your future. So it's not about you being yes, don't procrastinate. It's not about you being 100% at all the times. I tell you, doing 70% every day beats doing 100% every 5 days. See that? Those small actions matter, because what happens is consistency beats intensity every day of the week and twice on Sunday. It's not about you being intense and being focused and doing burnout and all that. It's really about you focusing and saying, you know what, consistency is my focus. So, and here's the thing too, there's something I had to realize that I pass on to my clients. Yeah, be consistent, don't procrastinate. Is that how do I say this without being said? Um, there are times where, and people won't know this, is that success isn't sexy. What I mean by that is this: a lot of times, when it comes to you getting into a level of success, it's about you doing the boring, mundane things. It's you building up those things. Like, for instance, um, I'm working on I'm working on becoming a intermediate, becoming a piano player, someone that can play well by ear and maybe eventually by reading. But I love the piano. I love all the options you can do. I love that. However, one of the things that it takes in order for me to become with that is that I've got to do the quote unquote boring stuff. I got to do the scales, the do 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 do, or I've got to do the practices, to get my fingers up to a level of being able to maneuver around the piano well. So I had to do so. I've got to do certain things. I had to invest, and I had a bunch of keyboards. I still have some keyboards. However, I had to buy a certain keyboard that had weighted keys, because if I was really going to play piano, I need something with weighted keys so I can strengthen my fingers. Now I've got to do the scales. I've got to do the chords, all that boring stuff. When you see somebody sit down at the piano, you're like, oh, okay, that they play great music, or they've got a command of it. We don't see the boring things behind the scene. The scales, the repetition, the hours they're putting on here, the stuff that just sounds boring, the mistakes. But it's repetition that creates mastery. So doing the boring things, because that's what's doing it. It's the repetition that creates mastery. So when it comes to your habits, you got to think about this. Daily disciplines matter. Yes, in the posture and not using your wrist. Yes, Miss Diamond. Somebody knows about that. Someone knows about that. Ugh. Yes, I know. So when it comes to your habits, you got to know there are certain things that matter. Morning routines matter. Daily disciplines matter. Evening routines matter. All those things there. All right. So you've got to create that mastery. Yes, repetition creates mastery. So you got to have a morning routine, an evening routine. You've got to know that your daily listens, all those things are where your future is hidden. It's hidden inside of those habits. Okay. So what's going to help you with that? Accountability. Accountability is going to be a massive component in order for you to achieve success. Massive. All right. So you've got to understand that as you're moving forward, accountability is going to be so key in that. All right. Um, Let me just move here. I just want to check one thing. All right. All right. We got it. We got it. Okay. All right. And so know this one thing too, is that as you're doing these things on a daily basis, you make progress, and progress compounds. They build things up. Those tiny improvements matter. And so the better habits you create, then they also create better outcomes. So your better habits create better outcomes. And so I've shared my story, and And the challenge is, it's this. This is it. Is it difficult to do? Yes, it is. No one says it's easy. No one says it's going to be comfortable. It's going to be cool. It's going to be those challenges, and so it's the challenge. See, like it's almost like, everybody wants like six pack abs until it's time to say no to that second slice of cake. And I mean, you got that cake, whatever your favorite cake is, whether it's red velvet, whether it's, yellow cake with chocolate frosting, whether it's strawberry cake. That's fine. I love strawberry cake. I do. So that's one of the key things. So you've got to then decide what are the habits that you're going to build. All right. That's one of the key things. And as I said, feel free during this time. We've gone through 4 decisions already. Um, have any questions, comments? Put them in there. This is the good time to really get that. To really get that. Yes, see, Miss Diamond, red velvet cake with cream cheese icing. Oh man, and I tell you, there was one time, I don't know where it went to. There was one place that used to have red velvet cupcakes, and I mean the big ones, like regular stores, and for us, like the regular grocery store. They would have you go to the bakery, they sell the blueberry muffins, 4 in a pack, big muffin, blueberry or corn or chocolate chip. They had red velvet ones, and man, I would go get those red velvet cupcakes. Then I go to the bakery aisle and get like get some frosting, cream cheese frosting. That's right. I'm up here from Boston, so I say frosting, not icing. Anyways, but yeah, used to love that. Oh, and carrot cake. Oh, if you give me the carrot cake. Anyways, that, anyways, no, that might be a lie when we talk about food because that's a whole nother thing. But yes, that's one of the key things. It's really the daily habits that you build that's going to have you have the better outcome. All right. So this landed for you. Put a 4 into the comment. Put a 4 into the comment. Yeah, carrot cake is the right carrot cake too. The right carrot cake. All right. This landed for you. Dutch. Oh, German chocolate cake. Oh man, I'm telling you. Yes, I see the 4s in the chat. I see the 4s in the chat. Beautiful. All right. On to the last one. Let's see for those here that are on here. Let's see if we can get up. I like to get up to 50K before I leave, and so um, we'll stick around. But at least what I want to do is we'll finish this out. So now let's go ahead and we'll move on to number 5. So number 5. And I recapped for you before, but I'm going to move right on to number 5. So this is the 5th decision that you can make that can change your life in the next 90 days. And this is number 5. Everyone ready? All right. The church bun cakes. Ooh. Or the church punch. So the 5th decision that you can make that's going to change your life in the next 90 days is this. Decide to stay consistent when motivation leaves. That's right. Decide to stay consistent when motivation leaves. As I tell you all, I'm giving you this information, but I'm also reminding myself of these things. So let's go. So when it comes to these decisions here, know this, and I will repeat this, and I pour this, and I say this to my private clients, to my mastermind clients, to all that motivation comes and goes. And side note, if you're interested in finding out about my mastermind or private client, just message me, and I'll give you, and I'll let you know. Um, so motivation comes and goes. It is fleeting. It is in and out. It is an emotion. It is something that is not. It is a short term by nature. Motivation is like this: breath, short breath. Okay, that's what motivation. That's what motivation is. Okay, it comes, it goes, it flows, ebbs and flows. No, what stays is discipline, discipline. Because what people know is when you reach a certain level, that success is not built on feelings. See, feelings change, emotions change, all those things change. They flow out there. But what happens is when it comes to you deciding to stay consistent, know this, that commitment remains. You make a decision, it's a commitment that remains. And all that there, commitment reigns, consistency wins. All right. And so when you decide to stay consistent, know this, you've got commitment, you've got consistency. And when you decide to be consistent, it's the momentum that matters. And you realize that it's momentum over motivation. Never choose a temporary thing for a permanent issue. See, motivation is a band aid, momentum is the fix. Momentum is the principle, is a principle, it's a pillar. That's how you want to look at it. It's foundational. That's part of how you grow. You know how to build momentum, then you're key. Because what happens is this is that what people don't like about growth is that growth takes time. We want things to happen immediately. That's right. Don't use feelings for motivation. Correct. It takes time. Results take time. Growth takes time. And when it comes to it, most people quit so early. They quit too early. Why? Because because progress isn't always visible. You look at the action that you're doing and you're expecting to see something. However, when you are operating in consistency and you have your daily habits, know this, that progress isn't always visible and you need to trust the process. How do you trust the process? You keep showing up. You stay in the game. You realize that it's the long-term thinking that changes everything. That's how you move forward. That's how you stay consistent when motivation leaves. You understand that it's not about those things. It's not about you seeing progress and actually knowing that someone's going to shake your hand and say, okay, this is great, this is what you're doing. You've got to know that as you're doing those daily things, it's not always going to be visible, but it helps you that. And that's where accountability comes in. You need someone that's going to be able to help you to measure, to help you to see those progress, to make adjustments, to make that progress. All right. Because really, when it comes down to it, it's motivation is like that friends that says they're coming over, but they never come, or that friends that says, you know what, yeah, I got you, and they don't have you. Yeah, that's it. That's really it. And so you've got to think about this when it comes to this decision. What causes you to lose momentum, and what's something that causes you to stop, to cause you to really put you in your tracks. So think about that, and think about a particular goal. Think about something that you have quit and restarted multiple times. For me, it's the piano, and I've got CDs and things along those lines. So this time, though, my goal is to be able to take the chords I know, play them in all 12 keys, and also understand the structure of them so that I can employ them. I can employ them at a moment's notice. So, and so those are the 5 decisions. So let's go over them really when it comes to this, because this is about making these decisions over the next 90 days. Okay. The first one was decide what it is you actually want. Thank you for the roses. Thank you so much, Ms. Diamond. It's not about having a goal problem. It's not about a goal issue. It's a clarity issue. You've got to make sure you're clear on what you want. Vague goals produce vague results. Clear goals, clear results. All right. So that was 1. Decide what you actually want. Number 2, decide what you're no longer willing to tolerate. So you got to look around and ask yourself, is clutter normal? Are excuses normal? Is procrastination normal? Toxic relationships, poor boundaries, financial chaos. If those are normal, you've got to raise your standards and know that your standards influence your behavior influences your results, and your results influence confidence. And number 3, the third decision you've got to make is you got to decide who you'll learn from, because success leaves clues. So you're going to understand all those things matter: coaching, books, courses, learning matters. Embrace. Oh, hold on. I've got to move this here. Hold on. Here we go. I've got to do more movement because it didn't detect. I got to notice. It was like, oh, I've got to move some more. So number 3, I've got to decide who I'm going to learn from. Decide who you'll learn from. Know this: pride slows growth, humility speeds growth. So embrace humility. Number 4, decide what habits you build, meaning that your habits, they shape your identity and your results. The better habits that you have, they create better outcomes. All right. And number 5, you have to decide to stay consistent when motivation leaves. Okay. So that's key, because motivation comes and goes, but it's about your discipline, your commitment, all those things there. All right. And so most people already know what they need to do. Most people, they know they need to lose weight, they need to save money, they need to make a call, they need to start a business, finish a project, all that stuff. Knowledge really isn't the problem when it comes to that. It's the execution. It's really following through, and that's why accountability matters. So is it possible that your life can look dramatically different in 90 days? Yes, it can. Thank you for the roses. Thank you for the stickers. And it's not because of luck, and it's not because of your perfect circumstances, but it's the decisions that you make today. That's what's key. So every decision that you make is going to have an impact. Every result starts with a decision. Every habit starts with a decision. The future that you're hoping for is built by the choices you're making right now. That's key. So if you got value from this, let me know. I appreciate it. Be sure to share this with somebody that wants to level up. Let me know what your biggest takeaway is. And you know what? If you're serious about creating momentum over the 90 days, let me know. Message me, and we can get together to connect and definitely give you that, because these are things. So this is good to have this information, but everyone's situation is unique. So you may need some assistance on how to apply that. So feel free to message me directly, and I can let you know about a session with me. Because really, when it comes to it, 90 days from now, it's coming whether you're ready or not. And the question is, who will you be when that 90 day gets here? All right. That's one of the key things. All right. So, any questions we have here? Let me just check my notes here. Checking on all areas. All right. Okay. All right. So I want to thank you all for those that are staying, that are hanging out, staying by, and I'm going to call this complete. And of course, for those of you that that are interested in attending my lives, I go live Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so feel free to engage, send me a private message, all those good things. All right. So hold on for a moment. I'm gonna be hanging around. I'm gonna be hanging out with some people here. So just bear with me. So for everyone else, thank you all so much. Thank you all so much, and look forward to seeing you in the next time of the live.